Okay, so for this question, we're looking at comparing two rectangular prisms. So let's take a look at it. So we have right rectangular prism X is similar to right rectangular prism Y. The surface area of right rectangular prism X is 58 square centimeters, and the surface area of prism Y is 1450. Okay, so the volume of prism Y is 1250, and they're asking us what is the sum of the volumes in centimeters cubed. Okay, so we know that the surface areas of the two are given and that the volumes of one of them are given. So first thing we want to look at is what our final equation is going to be. So we are asked what is the sum of the two volumes, so we know Vx plus Vy is going to equal our answer. We don't know Vx, but we were given Vy, which was 1250, equals answer. So once we find Vx, we have our answer. So that's going to be how we center our discussion today. So this is going to be the central equation that we're going to be looking back to. Okay, so to rewind, the key to this problem is understanding what similar means in this case. If two prisms are similar, it means that the angles are identical, all angles, and sides are proportional. Proportional. All sides are. Okay, so what does that second one mean? Because angles make sense, but sides are proportional. What does that mean? So let's look at this example I have here. This is not related to the question. This is just an extra example. So if we have one prism with a height of 1, a width of 2, and a length of 5, okay, and then we have another prism with a height of 2, a length of 4, and a width of 4 and a length of 10, we know that these two prisms are similar. Why? Well, they're all right angles, so we know the angles are identical. And we know that their sides are proportional. Why? Because we multiply each side by the same value, times 2, times 2, times 2, and that gives us our 2, 4, and 10. So we know these two rectangular prisms are now proportional. That's what the sides are proportional means. So we know a few things that are related to these prisms. We know first off, to put this into perspective, we know that the sides of x times k. In this case, k is what? K is 2, right? Because we multiplied everything by 2. Sides of x times k is going to be equal sides of y. We also know surface area of x is going to be equal to k squared sides y. And we know that the volume x times k cubed is going to equal to the volume, sorry, not sides y. This is going to be surface area y, right? And then volume x k cubed is going to be equal to volume y. So these are the three things that we know from the word similar. And this should be popping into your head as you're doing this question. Okay? So out of these three equations, what's important? What do we need to grab? Well, we want to know volume of x, right, from our original equation. So I'm going to say this one, right? V of x times k cubed equals v of y. Okay, well, we know v of y, that they give it to us. It's 1250. So, okay, great, we're done, right? We can just find v of x and call it a day? No, because we don't know what k is. We have to find k. Now, if this was the real example, then k would just be 2, and then we would be done. We'd plug in 2 for k and call it a day. But because this is just my own example that I gave, we need to find k using the equations that I just gave you up here. So looking at these equations, we know surface area of x, and we know surface area of y. K is our only unknown in this equation, so we're going to use this one. Because this one, we can use what they gave us to find k. And once we find k, then we can find our Vx. So we're actually going to find k first, and then we're going to go back down to this volume equation. So we have surface area, looking at the second equation now, we have surface area of x times k squared equals surface area of y. Okay, we're given surface area of x is 58 in the problem, still times k squared, and we're given surface area of y in the problem is 1450. Okay, this is nothing new. Now we just solve for k. Simple algebra. Divide by 58. We're going to get k squared. This is going to be equal to 25 if you do the math. square root both sides to isolate k, and we get k equals 5. Just like that. So that's how we find k. All right, so let's erase this. So once we found k, we're now going to use that because we're ultimately, remember, I'm going to repeat myself, we're trying to get to volume x, because once you get to volume x, then we get to our final answer. So to get volume x, what equation do we use? Well, we use the equation that involves volume x. So now we have our volume x times k cubed equals Vy. Volume x is still unknown. We now know what k is. It's 5. 5 cubed equals, and they gave it to us in the problem, 1250. Perfect. We have one unknown that we can solve for, and that's what we want. So divide by 5 cubed, divided by 5 cubed. These cancel. We get Vx equals 1250, and 5 cubed is just equal to 125. So we get V of x equals 1250 over 125. So V of x is going to equal 10. Okay. Well, now we found V of x. There's not really much left we have here. So bring this up to the top. We have V of x equals 10. We take our original equation that we wrote at the beginning, and we just rewrite it. 10 plus 1250 equals our answer. Our answer is 1260. And that's how we're going to do this one. A couple things to note. These equations right here will take time to memorize, but you do need to memorize them because they're not going to give this to you, and this is something that you need to know when you see two prisms and that they're similar. So these three equations, make sure you have these down. We used this one as an example, but these were the two main ones that we actually implemented to find the answer. And then this was my example. Okay? All right, look at the other videos I have to learn more about these types of questions. Thanks.